The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself: God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this tax collector. I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. Luke 18, verse 11 and 12. A minister tells of preaching a sermon at a Sabbath morning service on the story of the Pharisee and the tax collector. After the sermon was over, the person who offered the closing prayer said, Lord, we thank thee that we are not like the Pharisee in this parable. Dr. Harry Emerson Fosdick tells of a chaplain who offered the following prayer before a genealogical society where all were congratulating themselves on being the descendants of their ancestors. Justify, O Lord, if it be possible, the high esteem in which we hold ourselves. Unfortunately, that is impossible. In the letter to the Romans, Paul pieces together a series of Old Testament statements, mostly from the Psalms, that graphically describe man's predicament. None is righteous, no, not one. No one understands, no one seeks for God. All have turned aside together, they have gone wrong. No one does good, not even one. Their throat is an open grave. They use their tongues to deceive. The venom of asp is under their lips. Their mouth is full of curses and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood, and their paths are ruin and misery. In the way of peace they do not know. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Romans 3, verse 10 through 18. This is the picture of man as God sees him. And man's solution to his predicament is not in himself and in his own attainments. The tax collector in the parable recognized this when he said, God be merciful to me, a sinner. The human problem of sin is not solved by man's effort to do right, but rather by recognizing that we can't do it on our own and surrendering to the one who can. And as always, think on these things.